Hello, and welcome to the session prep video for the 5th session of this D&D mini-series. This video, as all of the prep and report videos, is uploaded on my second channel. The live stream archives are uploaded on the main channel. There's a playlist linked in the description that has all of the stuff together in chronological order. If you want to have a look at a live stream live, then that is also linked in the description. So, we really don't have that much to prepare this time round, because pretty much all the stuff that I prepared for last session we didn't actually get to, and the situation's pretty much the same now as it was then. There are only really two little things. The first one is I want to come up with a little bit of a backstory for a Sorum shell painter. Basically so that I have a rough outline of how he went from an innocent halfling to being Zinthar's minion. How did he go from that to what he is now? It needs to be a gradual process. So, firstly, there needs to be a problem needs to be created, and then a solution is offered to that problem, and then that solution has some negative side effects which are far less worse than not solving the problem that was created in the first place for which the solution is offered, if that makes sense. It could have been something as simple as Sorum being poisoned and being bedridden for a long time, getting close to death, and then a cleric who is of course already following Zinthar or worshipping gods that have the same alignment as Zinthar, shows up and offers a cure, and they would happily do that, but they need some really, really expensive ingredients to do this, and so in that way, Sorum could then become indebted to this cleric and be in dire need of work, especially since Sorum probably wouldn't have been able to work for a long time that he's been ill for, because he's been poisoned. So Skral-Metan then offered him, just through a chance encounter, offered him some work, probably because the way I'm imagining this is that Skral-Metan is very rich, very powerful. He's got a mansion on the outskirts of the city and with grounds and all that sort of stuff. Actually, I've just had a good idea. What if he started out working for him as someone who feeds the monsters in those mini-dungeons? And by that I of course mean, here's this wagon of probably rotting meat, drive that over into the woods there, and put it down these holes. Not the cart, the meat, in bits. Yeah, that would work. And then getting to escort people up to his manor and back down could be seen as an upgrade, as a promotion. And then maybe he started introducing some little white lies, like for example, that on the way, escorting these people up to the mansion, he could maybe mention to them, oh, that Lord Metan has hit hard times recently, and that his considerable wealth is dwindling, or something like that. So that he could get, for one thing, that Skral-Metan could get better deals, and two, to get Sorum used to lying for people coming up there. And building that relationship, he also gathers some dirt on him through that. And so that combination of, I've really built a good relationship with you and I don't want to jeopardize it, I value you as an asset, as an employee, as an asset, and also if you go against me, I have all this stuff, and also you might just disappear, could easily lead to Sorum then basically being given orders to, okay, there's a guy matching this description, find him, get him to this location, go through there, report back to me, then get him to go to this location, report back to me, and that's it. Solum doesn't know anything more about that. So I think that that could be a reasonable gradient, and of course I don't have to explain it in such great detail to the players if this comes up. And that is way too complicated the way that I've got it in my mind currently to put it down here. So instead, I'm just going to keep it in my mind, the vague outline of how that kind of progression goes. And then when I make up specific details during gameplay, then I'll write those down in the session notes. Speaking of which, yeah, this stuff over here, that's pretty much, yeah, we only got through this bit in session 4, and this is all the stuff that I've prepared. Okay, anyway. The other thing, the second thing is about someone maybe recognizing Car from the night at the Skellyshine Tavern and then helping out in some minor way. Because in my report video I did touch on this briefly, but actually now I'm thinking that as they're leaving town, a scale guard could recognize them and approach them, and then off on the side someone says, "Oh, I've been mugged, there goes the thief," or something like that, to get the scale guard's attention elsewhere, because this is more urgent, thus allowing the party to slip away. And then we could say to the party, "Yeah, you recognize that guy as one of the people who was in the Skellyshine Tavern last night. He really enjoyed your dancing." And I think that that could feel quite rewarding to the players, that something that they have done has had another positive side effect, because oftentimes players do have negative side effects, and so it's good to bounce it out of it. So I'll probably do that. Although, am I going to just say, okay, there's a scale guard there, or am I going to tie that to a die roll? Because if I tie it to a die roll, another percentile, then, like I said before, that has to get pretty low, because the previous one was, well, the previous one was very high. It was like 96. So I think I can probably still die that to a percentile check and just set the DC fairly high. Like something, if it's like 70 or 80 or something like that, then someone notices. It just has to be a little bit lower than what I had said before, which was nothing, but what was gotten before, which is the 96 or something. Which this is again dealing with that fake die roll, but keeping a thread of continuity with what that number was associated with, and then what logically other numbers must mean. And given that they've now spent an evening in this town and then a night, and then gonna have breakfast first, probably an hour worth of spell preparation and all that sort of stuff. Plus maybe speaking with, what was it, Aaliyah, speaking with Aaliyah as well, maybe. I think that's probably enough time for word to have gotten around that an Aarakocra maybe should be apprehended and questioned. The rest of the session plan is pretty much what it was before, and that is that. I'll see you in the session later today, hopefully. So, bye-bye.